G'day, Christian Horner sacked after 20 years at the helm of Red Bull. Yesterday at midday, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner was formally advised he would no longer be heading up the Milton Keynes-based team. I can tell you there was plenty going on at the Red Bull hospitality suite last Sunday at Silverstone, and it all came to a head today when it was confirmed by the team that the man who's been the leader at Red Bull since 2005 was leaving. Of course, he's been under a lot of pressure due to the team's poor performance this year. In fact, over the past 4 races, Sauber has scored more points than Red Bull, and they run on a fraction of the Red Bull budget. It was evident to a few of us after Sunday's British GP that this announcement was imminent. There were reports of animated discussions between Paul Smith and Jos Verstappen on the weekend, and even Christian Horner. Later that evening, Paul was in tears on the upper deck of the engineering suite. These pics were taken shortly after that, and I've just learnt now that Paul Smith will also be leaving the team effective immediately. The decision to fire Christian was made by the board of the parent company Bull GmbH, which operates out of Salzburg in Austria. Oliver Mintzlaff is the CEO of that organisation and is often seen at the track. Perhaps the team's performance at the British GP was the straw that broke the camel's back. Max finished 5th, Yuki 15th, team scoring just 10 points in total for the weekend, the same weekend that McLaren scored 33. This sees Red Bull sitting here in 4th place in the Constructors' Championship, 188 points behind the leaders and 38 points behind 3rd place Mercedes. That 188-point deficit translates to millions of dollars of lost prize money. It's fair to say that Red Bull has been in disarray since early 2024. Management at the parent company was forced to investigate allegations against Christian of inappropriate behaviour towards a female colleague. He was cleared of all wrongdoing on that matter, but a day after that announcement was made, an email was sent to most of the F1 media containing alleged text conversations between Christian and that Red Bull staff member. Those messages quickly ended up in the public domain and no doubt caused Christian, the team, and their sponsors a great deal of embarrassment. He could have quite easily stepped down then, which probably would have been a better option for the team. However, he chose to ride out the storm and on March 2 last year walked into the paddock with his wife Jerry as a show of solidarity. He'd actually arrived at the track much earlier that day, but snuck out a side gate, jumped in the car with Jerry, and then drove around the corner to the swipe gates so the pair could be photographed entering hand in hand, displaying to the world a united family front. The pair even dined together on the Red Bull hospitality deck in full view of the media to drive home the message that things were normal. Of course, they were anything but. Many in the team didn't feel comfortable about this whole matter. It resulted in a drop in team morale, and when your 4-time World Championship driver is forced to answer repeated questions about the matter, saying, "I would rather not have these stories, these things go on within the team," it's concerning and destabilising. The fallout from this whole affair has seen Red Bull lose a number of key people. Christian was pivotal in getting Adrian Newey to join the team in 2006. The pair were close. Adrian was even godfather to Christian's daughter from a previous relationship. But in 2024, Adrian decided to leave Red Bull and head to Aston Martin. Now, he's a gifted car designer and was a major part of the 6 Constructors and 8 Drivers' World Championships that the team collected since Christian's arrival. Many in the team were also disappointed that Adrian wasn't given a proper send-off last year, saying he should have been invited to Abu Dhabi for the final race and more publicly thanked for his years at the team. That didn't happen. The other big loss was that of sporting director Jonathan Wheatley. He was highly regarded in the team, a straight shooter with high ambitions, and many thought he might take Christian's position as team principal when Christian was being investigated by the parent company. But when the company announced Christian had nothing to answer for, and Christian made it clear he wasn't going anywhere, Jonathan decided to pursue other options. And in August last year, he accepted the team principal role with Sauber. And last week at the British GP, he celebrated with his team their first podium under his reign. So did Jos Verstappen have anything to do with Christian's departure? Probably yes. No other driver's father has quite the power that Jos does. He's quick to advocate for his son, like any manager would, but he does it with a father's passion. He can be loud and demanding, and perhaps with good reason. At present, his son is doing the heavy lifting on the driver front. Without Max, the team would be in dire straits. He scored 165 of the team's 172 points. If they'd had 2 Yukis in the cars this year, they would be dead last in the championship, 5 points behind Alpine. So how has Christian kept his job throughout all the drama of the past 28 odd months? First, you need to know a little bit about the parent company, Red Bull GmbH. as they call the shots. Yes, they sell energy drinks and more now, but let's go back to 1987, when this man, Thai businessman Chileo Uvideo, teamed up with Austrian Dietrich Mateschitz to take the Thai energy drink worldwide. They each put in $500K US and each received 49% of the company. The remaining 2% went to Chileo's son, Chileam. This gave the Uvideos control of the company. When the drama of last year unfolded, Christian had the support of Chileam, who pops up at a number of races each year with his wife. Even if Red Bull GmbH wanted Christian out, the Thais had the controlling vote. However, with the team failing to perform this year and losing key people, that support had dropped off. Certainly there were a number of people in management at the Austrian head office who felt Christian had too much power following Dietrich's death and weren't confident with his performance. The sport is cutthroat, and when things aren't going well, management is often quick to react. The Christian had lasted 2 decades says plenty about his abilities. So what did he do prior to Red Bull? He drove 2 seasons in F3000, but at the age of 25, following Juan Pablo Montoya through the Jerez circuit's high-speed first corner, he realised, as he said, he wasn't capable of replicating the level of commitment needed to be successful. So he turned his hand to management. He joined Red Bull in 2005, stepping straight into the team principal role and became the youngest team principal at the time. He's been the face of that team ever since. When you walk into the team's Milton Keynes head office, you come face to face with the most enormous trophy cabinet, and much of that success has been as a result of Christian's efforts at the helm. He was a star performer on Drive to Survive.
Change your fucking car.
The media loved him, and he loved the media. He knew his stuff, was charming when he wanted to be, and looked the part. He married ex-Spice Girl Jerry Halliwell in 2015, and the pair have a son, Monty, born in 2017. There is no doubting Christian's work ethic. He attended every F1 race over his 20-year career with the team, even missing the birth of one of his children as it fell on a race day. With his departure, F1 loses a real character, one who will be hard to replace. Of course, he has his detractors, but you can't deny his success in the sport. The numbers say it all. I enjoyed the sparring that went on between him and his nemesis, Toto Wolff from Mercedes. The pair were great for social engagement. With Christian gone, that makes Toto the longest-serving team principal, with 12 plus years in that role. In fact, no other team principal has anything like that. I think the next best is, 2.5 years. So who will be taking over the role of team principal at Red Bull? It's Laurent Mekies, the VCARB team principal, and Alan Permain will take over the team principal role at VCARB. This is indeed huge news in Formula One. So are we likely to see Christian Horner pop up at another F1 team? Who knows? He's certainly well experienced and knows what it takes to get a team to the top. One thing's for sure though, this is the end of an era for Red Bull Racing. Now before you go, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already on the subscriber list. And for a whole lot of extra content, have a look around here. Thanks for watching and stay passionate. After 20 years,